It was supposed to be one of the biggest boxing spectacles of the year, Gervonta Tank Davis versus Jake Paul, a fight that promised fireworks, controversy, and the ultimate clash between credibility and charisma. Both men had built empires off their names, though in completely different worlds. Davis was the undefeated knockout artist, a symbol of raw power and technical brilliance. Jake Paul, the social media phenomenon turned prizefighter, had turned the combat world upside down by making spectacle profitable. Their collision was inevitable. But just days before it was set to happen, everything fell apart. On November 14, 2025, headlines across every sports and entertainment outlet blared the same message. Fight cancelled, Gervonta Davis facing domestic violence lawsuit in Miami. The news spread like wildfire. Fans who had already booked tickets, hotels, and pay-per-view packages found themselves stunned. The promotional posters, the face-offs, the trash talk, all of it instantly turned to dust. For many, this wasn't just another canceled bout. It was a cultural implosion. The night before the announcement, Davis had been seen training in typical form, intense, focused, silent. Insiders said he looked sharper than ever. His sparring sessions were short but brutal, each one punctuated with the kind of explosive combinations that made him famous. The plan was clear: knock Jake Paul out early and make a statement that would silence every critic who had ever doubted boxing's legitimacy against YouTube showmanship. But behind the scenes, the situation had already started to unravel. Reports out of Miami alleged that Davis had been accused in a civil domestic violence lawsuit filed just 48 hours before the fight. While details were initially murky, court documents suggested serious allegations involving an incident at a private residence earlier in the month. Davis's legal team immediately denied the claims, calling them false, opportunistic, and timed to derail a major career event. Yet, as the news cycle picked up speed, the narrative grew more complex. Promoters tried to hold firm. Negotiations reportedly went deep into the night as both camps and event organizers discussed whether the show could go on. But the optics were devastating. The Miami-Dade court confirmed that the lawsuit had been filed, and the press swarmed. By sunrise, the decision had been made. The fight was officially off. Jake Paul wasted no time taking the narrative into his own hands. In a press conference that afternoon, he stood in front of a wall of flashing cameras and declared, "This is why boxing needs accountability. You can't represent the sport if you can't represent respect." It was a soundbite built for virality. The crowd of reporters erupted with questions, some sympathetic, others skeptical. Paul insisted he was disappointed but not surprised, claiming that Davis had been fighting demons longer than he's been fighting opponents. For Gervonta Davis, the silence that followed was deafening. His camp canceled all media appearances. The only statement came from his attorney, who asserted that Mr. Davis maintains his innocence and intends to clear his name through proper legal channels. But the damage was already done. Within hours, sponsors began to withdraw promotional content, and the networks behind the pay-per-view event quietly removed the bout from their platforms. Social media went into overdrive. Fans were split. Some defended Davis fiercely, arguing that the timing of the lawsuit seemed suspicious, an attempt to destroy his image before a massive payday. Others took the opposite view, saying that too many athletes had been given passes for behavior outside the ring. The debate became less about boxing and more about morality, accountability, and power. Meanwhile, insiders revealed that this wasn't the first time the fight had been close to collapse. Behind closed doors, there had been tension for weeks. Davis's legal history had always been a concern for the promotion team, and contractual language reportedly included morality clauses and contingencies for potential legal entanglements. Paul's management, too, had demanded ironclad assurances that any offering scandal wouldn't tarnish his brand. In the end, those concerns proved prophetic. The ripple effects extended far beyond the fight. Broadcasters, trainers, and even rival fighters began weighing in. ESPN analysts described the cancellation as a major setback for boxing's public image. Showtime, which had been involved in preliminary distribution discussions, faced backlash for its association. And the city of Miami, where the fight was expected to inject millions into the local economy, suddenly faced empty arenas and canceled hotel bookings. But what really caught public attention was the human drama behind the headlines. Court documents described a tense night that ended with police being called to a residence in Coral Gables. The lawsuit alleged emotional and physical distress, painting a picture of volatility that clashed sharply with the polished image of a world champion. Davis's lawyers pushed back, arguing that no criminal charges have been filed and that civil suits do not equal guilt. Still, perception became its own kind of punishment. As journalists dissected every angle, Jake Paul leveraged the moment to expand his message. He framed himself not just as a fighter, but as a reformer. "This isn't about clout anymore," he said in one interview. "It's about cleaning up the sport. If I have to be the one to do that, so be it." To some, it sounded self-righteous. To others, strategic genius. Either way, Paul had transformed a lost payday into a PR win. In contrast, Davis's reputation took a massive hit. His social media accounts went dark, his sponsors paused deals, and even fellow fighters began to distance themselves. Behind the scenes, those close to him said he was furious, not just at the lawsuit, but at what he saw as an orchestrated effort to destroy him. "They're trying to take everything I've built," he reportedly told one confidant. "They don't want me to win in or out of the ring." As the weeks went on, speculation about the future of the fight industry intensified. Could the bout be rescheduled if Davis cleared his name? Would Paul move on to another opponent? Promoters whispered about the financial losses, rumored to exceed $20 million between ticket sales, sponsorships, and production costs. For fans, it felt like more than a cancellation.